Hi everyone, welcome to Jake's Gear Room. This is episode number 1. What I want to talk to you today about is probably one of the most important considerations that you're going to make when you're putting your gear list together for your next hunting adventure. And I use the term hunting adventure lightly because whether you're in the swamps of Louisiana, the hardwoods of Tennessee, the cornfields in the Midwest of Iowa, in the plains of Nebraska, in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, the Yukon, the glacier mountains of Alaska, Pakistan, Nepal, Mongolia, no matter where you go, one of the things that you always want to have are comfortable feet. And I would like to introduce a brand to you, to the hunting world, called LaSportiva. Many of you high country sheep and goat hunters know exactly why I'm bringing this brand to the hunting world. It's probably the most advanced, technologically functional, purposeful, well-made brands in the entire world. The company was established in 1928, and it's an Italian-made company. What they've catered to over the years have been to the alpine, high-altitude climbers, rock climbers. They make the #1 selling rock climbing shoe in the world, and they've taken their technology and their climbing shoe advancements into the alpine world, and they have for years. And what I'd like to do today with you is compare 3 new models that I've just bought. I put my money where my mouth is. I spent my own hard-earned money on 3 pairs of boots that were designed in 2015. The Karakorum, which has actually been around for a while, but these are the 2015 model. The Trango Cube GTX, which is the most advanced mountain boot in the world, and I'll get to that in a second. And thirdly, the lightest hiking boot I've ever seen is called the LaSportiva Core GTX. GTX standing for Gore-Tex. Okay. Now, when you compare these across the board to the boots that I've had for years, these are the K2s, which I bought originally in 1998 for ice climbing. I went on 3 or 4 expeditions that year. One to Norway and Sweden on an ice climbing adventure. I went to Mount Foraker in the Alaska range. I also went to Mount Fuji in Japan, Mount Kenya in East Africa, and all over Rocky Mountain National Park training. These boots I've had for 20 years. These are the LaSportiva Trangos. These are the original big wall boots that LaSportiva made for climbers that were climbing big walls such as El Capitan in Yosemite, or some of the big walls out in the deserts of Utah. These were designed for all-day comfort and functionality on rock climbs. This is a pair of approach shoes that I've had for 15 years. These are the LaSportiva Rock Shocks. They're very lightweight. They're very durable. As you can see, I've had these shoes from 15, 20, and 17 years, and they're completely still usable. In fact, I still wear these on some of the sheep hunts that I go on. Obviously, they're probably going to get retired because I've upgraded all of my boots, but I brought these out because I wanted you to see how long they last, how durable they are, and how well made LaSportiva builds their boots. Okay, now let's get to the new technology of 2015. The Core GTX is designed with a new technology that LaSportiva is working with Gore-Tex exclusively on. It's called the Gore Surround. Okay, and what it is it's your normal Gore-Tex membrane that fully covers your boot, making it 100% waterproof. But it's got this surround technology, which is a molded plastic webbing that's molded into the shoe that completely surrounds the entire boot. Okay, the webbing alleviates the excess weight that a fully plastic coated boot would have. At the same time, it allows that Gore-Tex membrane to breathe. And what this webbing does is it protects the boot like a bumper, a miniature bumper, against abrasion in the rocks, sand, dirt, scree, whatever it might be that you're walking through, this molded plastic network is going to protect your Gore-Tex synthetic material from that abrasion. These are the lightest, literally the lightest boots I've ever held in my hands. I mean, if I could balance it on one finger, then I would show you. These are literally as light as a running shoe, a cross-country running shoe, or a track shoe. I mean, I can't give the boots justice on how light they are on camera, because you can't feel how light they are, but hopefully that gives you an idea. These are some seriously advanced light hiking shoes. This is something that I'm planning on wearing when I go to Hidden Hills Outfitters in central Nebraska to spot and stalk mule deer. This is something that I will wear in the early season in my tree stand. They're very breathable, they're very waterproof, and they're very durable. It's got a Vibram sole. The knobs are very soft so that you get good traction in loose dirt, sand, soil, mud, whatever it is. The LaSportiva Core GTX, the lightest hiking hunting boot I've ever put in my hands. The second boot I want to talk to you about is probably the most technologically advanced boot in the world, and there's nothing even close to it. This is called the Trango Cube GTX. Trango is spelled Trango, and it's named after the Trango Towers in Pakistan in the Karakorum range near K2. These boots are basically an offspring of the original Trango big wall boots. You can tell by the design that they have the same sort of profile, the same sort of shoebox, the full coverage rand all the way around the boot for maximum friction, no matter if you need your heel or your toe or your side, your edging in the granite slabs or rocks or boulder fields, whatever it is. These are the stickiest, most functional mountain climbing boot that you could possibly buy. They are insulated with a 3-season insulation, so they're good for spring, summer, and fall. It's probably not something you want to wear to the Arctic Circle in 30 below temperatures, but they are designed for ice climbing and hardcore alpine climbing. They have a rand groove for a crampon bail in the back, but there's not one in the front. So to wear crampons, these are crampon compatible, but you have to have the strap-on alpine crampons for these boots. Okay, they are designed for vertical ice climbing if you have that type of crampon. The very interesting thing about the technology in these boots is that there's no holes. There's no threaded seams. There's no sew holes. There's no needle holes. There's no rivets for the eyelets. There's no grommets built into the material. There's no holes. These are 100% molded, so there's absolutely no way for water to penetrate these boots. They're fully Gore-Tex membraned, and they have an outer sheath. I'm not exactly sure, I'll get back to you. I'm not exactly sure what material this sheath is made out of, but it's very tough. It almost looks like Kevlar or something of that durability. Then you've got this injection plastic molded frame around this boot. Okay, all these eyelets are molded into the injected plastic that's laminated to this boot. There's no way this can peel apart. These have been tested by the top climbers in the world through the most rugged and remote terrain that planet Earth can possibly endure on these boots, and they've proven themselves over and over again with some of the baddest ass people on the planet. Okay, they're super lightweight. Each boot weighs about 1.2 pounds, which means in a pair of these boots you only have less than 2.5 pounds total weight, which is a large significant factor when you're packing your boots. And you've got all this weight that you're carrying on international hunts, or if you're flying to Colorado or Wyoming or Montana or something to do a sheep hunt, or even an elk hunt or something in the high country, these boots are going to be the most comfortable, lightweight, longest lasting, durable boots that you could possibly buy. One guy that works at LaSportiva described these to me as being the Ferrari of mountain boots. There's no other boot in the entire world it's even in its class. Okay, these are the bomb, I'm telling you. An amazing boot. You may not like the color. I personally don't mind it because I know my camo pants are going to cover half the boot anyway. Yet at the same time, when you cover these in mud and scuff marks, you're barely going to see that. And let's face it, by the time you get close enough to an animal for them to see that, you're probably going to be at full draw anyway. So really consider the LaSportiva Trango Cube GTX the Ferrari of mountain boots. The third pair that I want to talk about is the classic mountain boot. This is called the LaSportiva Karakorum. Okay, these are designed very similar to your traditional sheep hunting boot. It's got all the same features. It's got a Vibram sole. It's got a stiff shank, 100% full stiff shank, so you have the coverage and support that you need in the high country, in loose scree, over boulder fields, across granite slabs. If you have to edge, you've got that support. The stiffer the boot, the better you are in the high country where the sheep and mountain goats live. This is a full leather boot, has a full rand. It has a back bail groove for a crampon, but not a front. Again, you would have to have strap-on crampons for these boots, but they are designed to be crampon compatible. They're very lightweight. They're basically again an offspring of the old K2, which at one time was the Cadillac of ice climbing boots and mountaineering boots. And they've changed the design very little, to be honest with you, because these were such a well-designed boot. I have literally hundreds and hundreds of miles on these boots, and literally I could still be wearing them today. In fact, I wore them to Kodiak a year and a half ago on a Kodiak bear hunt. So there's no question about the durability and the design behind the LaSportiva brand. Okay, again, and one last thing I wanted to talk about with the Karakoram are these locking eyelets. Okay, if you can see this, when you pull these strings tight and you pull them over, the eyelets lock into a groove. Okay, what that does is it allows you to tighten your toe box down or loosen it to the most comfortable position that you want for your boot. You lock it into place, then you can strap and tie your upper ankle support as tight as you want, and you have the comfort in your toe box, and then a completely independent system with the same shoestring on your uppers, so you can design your comfort level as you strap your boots on. It's actually a very ingenious little product that they added to this boot, and it's something that I noticed last night that I know I'm gonna like. In fact, I'm probably gonna put a pair of these on today and go do a 5 or 6 or 7 mile hike and try to start breaking these in. So again, the Karakoram, your sheep and your elk hunters, your high country mule deer hunters, these are perfect for you. Your Cube GTX, your sheep hunters, your high country sheep hunters, Dall sheep, stone sheep, Argali, Ibex, mountain goats, all those things that live at high altitude and way up in the cliff bands. This is what you want. Trust me, I'm telling you. I challenge you to find another boot even comparable to that. And then your spot and stalk hunter, I wouldn't challenge these up against a cactus plant, a prickly pear, because they're open. So the cactus spines are going to penetrate these, but as far as durability, waterproofability, breathability, and comfort, these are the bomb. I'm going to wear these in early season in my spot and stalk hunts in Nebraska with Jacob Heffley and Hidden Hills Outfitters. And I'm also going to wear these things in my tree stand when I'm whitetail hunting. So again, welcome to the LaSportiva world, the most durable, well-built, highly advanced boot in the entire world. If you want to know more about the LaSportiva brand, go to www.wildsherpa.com. That's WILDSHERPA.com. Go to their online store. They have a catalog. They have a full line of LaSportiva boots. They're going to have exactly what you want. If you want to know more about sizing, look their phone number up in their contacts menu and call the owner, Derek Morris. He can tell you all about them. He's a great climber, and he's one of the top retailers of LaSportiva in the country, and he can get you lined up with the exact boot and the exact size that you want.